Incredible, Yvonne. It is incredible. This will be the beginning of breathing life back into our first people's footprints that walked this nation, that created the highways. It'll breathe life back into the awareness of why our people did that. They walked to care for the country. And this will just be the beginning of starting that journey again. And we hope that whomever comes to experience this, that they will tread softly and follow the wisdom of our ancient people's footprints. So we have the combined effort of Western science with old science, and that's where we are now. We've come back in a full circle where culture and caring for country is integral to our plans. People with a passion to care for the environment. We're all working together. And this is where race doesn't become an issue. The issue is caring for country. The issue is protecting our environment. The issue is salvaging something for our future generations. We don't own the land. We are only custodians. We can't take it with us when we leave this life. And so we need to give it back and make sure it's there for our future generations to care for.
Well, thank you, everyone. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land and where we meet today. I create art, as you can see, on the ecology, geology and deep time history of natural systems. To this purpose, I developed the website sciart.com.au, which enables me to promote the perspectives of people who share with me their knowledge of the natural environments that I visit during artist residency projects that I undertake. How I could contribute to conservation efforts and environmental education, particularly in regional Australia, expanded when I was asked an unexpected question in 2017 by Noongar elder Auntie Carol Peterson, OAM, who works with the Gondwana Link organisation in the southwest of Western Australia. And her question is the question that I have for you all today. Could a national tourism trail of public artworks be established across Australia that would promote and celebrate regional conservation efforts, Indigenous culture and science? It was clear that if a network of sculptures such as these could be established, it would increase regional tourism as well as conservation and cultural awareness. But there were a lot of challenges before us. Auntie Carol and I envisaged that a design for the sculpture would need to foster community participation. It would need to feature the artworks from a range of Indigenous artists in the region, as well as nature journaling art about the region, and promote local conservation efforts and field naturalist studies. It was a lot for one sculptural design to accommodate. We knew the success of the design for the sculpture would lie in its ability to appeal to all ages and a range of interest groups. So it had to be fun to explore with a strong conservation and cultural message, whilst having a scientific basis for people who wanted to broaden their understanding of the deep time history of the region that the sculpture was individually representing. So I started working on the design in 2017, but for several years I struggled to develop a design that would fulfill so many requirements. In 2018 and 2019, I developed virtual reality models to teach the students of biology, ecology and geology at the Australian National University about deep time, the tree of life, and to help communities bring together their unique natural systems and bring them back into balance. In 2020, I had a breakthrough for the design for the sculpture when I transformed an evolutionary tree that was using data on selected species, as well as the humans. I turned it into an outdoor gallery, which featured Aboriginal art on the outside of the sculpture, and it also featured field naturalist art focusing on ecosystems, endangered species, and their deep time shared ancestry on the inside of the sculpture. So through the process of engaging with many communities, scientific illustrator Marley Moyer and myself developed the Explore Nature Journaling Resource Kit, catering to a broad community of interest groups and skill levels. Its objective is to increase participation in the project and increase people's connections to nature. Next year, with funding provided by Lottery West and in-kind support from BlueScope Steel, Vulcan and Hartway Galvanisers, we are installing the first tourism trail of sculptures across the Gondwana Link. We can't do it individually, but if we work together across communities, we can. We'd love to hear from you. It's about bringing communities together and heightening an awareness of caring for country.
You'll now hear from the head of Gondwana Link, Keith Bradby, who will provide you with the overview.
I think everything we do individually and organisationally has to take account of the fact that we're now well recognised that we're living in a biodiversity and a climate emergency. That's why we established Gondwana Link, because the previous 30 or 40 years of environmental and land care effort was inadequate. It had to be scaled up. We had to be bigger and bolder, stronger visions. And I think what we're seeing now is that every sector has to be looking to how it makes a far more positive contribution to dealing with those two big issues of our time. And of course we're here today because the visitor industry, tourism industry, has to do the same. For us in Gondwana Link, where we've been trying to tackle the big issues at big scale, visitors provide an incredible opportunity for what I can only call adult education. We have to be able to bring the broader community with us in their understanding of the really complex and really difficult issues we face as a society. There's no simple solutions, there's no quick band-aids, there's no quick fix. We're also deeply concerned that communities, and particularly the political community, tend to focus on the symptoms rather than the causes. So how do we help the community embrace these deeper needs? And obviously working through the art, working with schools, there's a whole basket of things that can be done. The particular attraction for us of the Genestreaming approach is we're bringing together the story of one of the world's oldest continuous ecosystems, the 250 million year southwestern Australia story, with one of the world's oldest First Nations communities, the Noongar people, and using that as the foundation of a national approach. We've got to help the community see the bigger systems they're part of. We go back a long way, and helping people trace that deep time history is of critical importance to help them see forward a long way. I'm not really interested in what conservation is going to be like in 10 years or 20 years. We've got to apply a 100-year, 1,000-year, 10,000-year time frame. And Genestreaming is designed to help that happen. But to be able to do it in conjunction with our Noongar colleagues and tell their deep time stories and portray that for the public is exactly what we all need to be doing, the respectful approach to moving forward together. So to get the Gondwana Link program going, we've relied very heavily on private money and the generosity of individuals across Australia and globally. But what we've found consistently, it's the story of the place. It's the bigger narrative, the understanding the great forces that are at play, be it the geological shaping of the continent, the rise of the Proteaceae, so many stories. You can plan to take people for a 10-kilometre walk, and at lunchtime you find you've only done 200 metres. The great opportunity there is for us to grab the current approach to visitors and move away from just pretty scenery and recreational use and get them entranced in the depth of this country, in the whole range of weird and wacky ways that our plants and our animals have evolved and survive in this part of the world. Get them down on their knees enraptured with this stuff and meeting the locals. The local restorationists, the local Noongar people, the incredible story of the Noongar people and how they're now working to help us repair the damage we did to the land. That's what grabs the visitor, and I don't think we make enough use of it. So Genestreaming is a doorway into that world.